Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora has been out for over a year now, and with its release of the second and, for now, final DLC, there has been no word on what is next for this game. But is there a way for Ubisoft to change that? Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day, and at this moment, there has been no word on what is next for Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. There's been no news on an update, no news on any DLC, so frankly I don't even know if we're ever going to get new content game. But if Ubisoft does decide to pursue one more big update or one more DLC, here's a few things that I think they should do to not only bring back older players, but bring in some new ones as well. Now, it is of course important to talk about Ubisoft and the current problem that they're facing, because the company is not in a good situation. There has been plenty of articles talking about the troubles of Ubisoft, so I'm not going to go through all of it right now. You can just look it up or go to Tom Henderson on Twitter/X from Insider Gaming. He's covered this comprehensively, talking about the failures and troubles of Ubisoft. And with their big upcoming release, Assassin's Creed Shadows, if that game does not success in sales, then honestly, I'm a little bit worried about the company. Now, with that being said, there is currently one job opening for the Frontiers of Pandora team, and it is a senior character artist. And if you look at the Twitter/X account of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, they have been very active, not only posting lore of the game, stuff from Secrets of the Spires, but regularly they also have competitions where you can win the season pass to the game. And I mean, if the game was completely dead, then why would they be hiring a senior character artist, and why would the social accounts continue to post stuff about the game? Also, looking at the Steam charts for the game, recently the 24-hour peak has reached an all-time high of over 2,000 players. And although 2,000 is not a lot, not at all, but it is a good sign, because for the first time since this game launched on Steam, there's been over 2,000 people playing simultaneously. But what do I think they should do going forward to keep this game going? Now, the first thing I think they should do is do a major update for the game. There is still, unfortunately, a lot of bugs in this game, not only quest related, item related, skin related, but honestly the in-game store doesn't even function properly. Some people have reported that stuff they've bought in the in-game store with cash doesn't even unlock, which is absurd if you think about it. And the weekly rotating store is filled with problems, as rotating items doesn't even appear in the store, players aren't even able to obtain the weekly quests, and there's even been an instance where there's items in the store that's not even in the game, which raises the question, are they working on new items for the game? I guess we'll have to wait and see. So fixing the bugs would be their main priority for this new update. Another thing is, I think they should do NewGame Plus. The reason I say that is because many players, including myself, want to replay this game, but honestly I don't want to start with a new save completely blank and have to do everything over again. It is a big map. There's been a lot of collectibles and stuff to do in the game, and all or most of it I've collected, and it would be nice if there's a NewGame Plus where you essentially just replay all of the missions, but some of the smaller things you don't really have to collect again, and you start over with all of your weapons, all of your resources, all of your skills. You don't have to start on a blank page, and do something interesting if you complete NewGame Plus, like give a unique outfit for your character that you unlock if you do NewGame Plus. Also, Ubisoft should bring in outfits from their other game into Frontiers of Pandora. Now, I know people are gonna say that if your Navi is wearing an Ezio outfit, it's not canon to the lore, but since Ubisoft does have a lot of IP, why not just have fun with it? Bring in some outfits from Assassin's Creed, or heck, let your Navi wear their green goggles from Splinter Cell. The outfits itself doesn't have to necessarily be part of the canon, it's just to have fun in the game. And speaking of fun, what is the point of purchasing outfits if you don't see your character walking around in third person? I think they should do a third person mode for this game. We've already seen people glitch the game and mod the game where you can essentially play in third person mode, so why not include that in the update? I know it's going to require a lot of work, but that was one of the biggest requests and one of the biggest complaints about the game, that people wanted to play in third person. I mean, if you look at most of Ubisoft's portfolio, Assassin's Creed, The Division, heck, even Star Wars Outlaws, everything was in third person. And I do understand that they made the game in first person because they wanted you to be immersed in Pandora, but I honestly think that if they had to make a third person mode for Frontiers of Pandora, it would draw in a lot of new players, and that would essentially be the biggest request, doing a massive update that includes New Game Plus, third-person mode, some new outfits, and of course fixing a lot of bugs. None of this should be paid for content, but I do think they should do one more add-on DLC or an expansion or whatever it is to essentially complete the story. I'm not going to spoil Secrets of the Spires for those of you that have not played it yet, but it does end on quite a cliffhanger, and it will be really unfortunate if they don't finish the story. Now, considering there was hardly any promotion for Secrets of the Spire, heck, the launch trailer for the game released after the DLC released, which is frankly just bizarre. And one day before the DLC was supposed to release, it was delayed by 2 days, which again is just a strange choice. So I don't think the DLC sold very well, hence why I think they should do a third DLC or a full-on expansion, but make it a standalone expansion. I believe they did something similar with Assassin's Creed Black Flag's Freedom Cry, where you can basically just buy that expansion standalone. And if they do something like this, where if you buy this expansion, you can just play it by yourself, then I do think a lot of players will jump into this expansion, and then if they enjoy it, they'll end up buying the base game and the 2 DLC. What they could also do is, if you purchase this standalone expansion, it boots the main game, the main menu, like usual, and then there's an option where you can essentially watch a recap video of Frontiers of Pandora and its DLC, bringing you up to date on what you might have missed before you start the expansion. The problem with the DLC to Frontiers of Pandora is that both of it takes place after the main campaign. So if you didn't finish the lengthy campaign, you never really experienced the DLC, which made it hard for a lot of people to jump in if they didn't really enjoy the story of Frontiers of Pandora. So doing this standalone expansion that you can just purchase and that you can just jump in straight away would make it a lot easier. Of course, they could do a thing that if you have the standalone expansion, you can buy the base game and its DLC at a discount. Again, that'll make a lot of people purchase the main game if they finished and enjoyed this expansion. But I do think doing a standalone expansion will work best instead of doing another DLC that takes place after Secrets of the Spire. Of course, this standalone expansion would need to take place after Secrets of the Spire, but you know what I mean. Now, as for timing, we know Frontiers of Pandora was initially set to release December 2022, alongside or around the time Avatar: The Way of Water was releasing in cinemas. That would have essentially given Ubisoft, in quotes, free marketing to their game, hence why there was not a lot of marketing done on Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. If you look at all of their game, you can see that Avatar just didn't get a lot of marketing, and my honest guess is that their budget to marketing was not a lot because they planned to release the game alongside, like I said, The Way of Water. And since the game was delayed by a whole year, they couldn't really adjust their budget for the game because, well, it was already locked in and there wasn't really a lot left for marketing, so they just released it when it was ready, which was December 2023. Now, with Avatar: Fire and Ash releasing December 2025, that is a perfect window to release this third expansion. Considering that Fire and Ash is releasing at the end of December, it would be perfect if they released it around, I would actually say around the same time, around the 9th or 10th of December. Actually, looking at the calendar quickly, the 12th of December is a Friday, a week before Fire and Ash, which would be perfect to release this expansion, tying it in to Fire and Ash and concluding the story of Frontiers of Pandora. Now, as for what can be in this DLC in terms of story, that would be a discussion for another video, but this expansion would essentially tie up the loose ends of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora and bring in some elements of Fire and Ash. It would even be more of a push if they included like a 10-second clip of Fire and Ash in the end of this expansion, saying that, you know, finish this expansion to get an exclusive look at Avatar: Fire and Ash. Similarly to what we got when we watched the remaster version of Avatar in theaters, and we got like an extended look of Avatar: The Way of Water, they could do something like this with the game, with the expansion, luring players in to not only play this expansion, but finish it. I know this clip will probably then be uploaded to YouTube and everybody will watch it there, but it will encourage players to finish it to get an exclusive look at Avatar: Fire and Ash. Also, one thing that I think they should include in this free update is melee attacks, because the melee attacks in Frontiers of Pandora is just not done well. You just punch in the air or you slide punch and then the human character just goes flying. It would be nice if there's actually a animation of sorts where you see your Navi, you know, take out the knife and actually attack the human, like a melee stealth kill that we see in the movies, bring in some stealth weapons in this expansion and stuff like that. But I do think there is a possibility to do this if Ubisoft pursues this path. But then again, I'm not a game developer. Maybe the only reason they're doing a senior character artist position is because they're updating the store and they just want to essentially continue working on updating the store and not pursue on future DLC. I don't know, but this is essentially my wish list and what I think Ubisoft should do going forward if they continue working on Frontiers of Pandora. But what would you like to see from Frontiers of Pandora going forward, and what do you hope to see in future DLC? Let me know in the comments below, and for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.